Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. Before we get started with today's case, I just want to address the elephant in the room. My face. I know, I have 2 zits and I have a cold sore. It's been a rough couple of days for my face. Not to mention my nose, but that's on the inside. That's all bleedy and sore from my CPAP cannulas. So just to address the fact that I know I have zits, I know I have a cold sore, and I apologize. Now, the case. In Hillsborough, Loudoun County, Virginia, on December 16, 1961, a teenager between the ages of 15 and 18, white, female, about 5'1", between 95 and 100 pounds, with short brown hair. They say slightly curly, so we'll say wavy, dark brown in color. Was found. It is believed that she was indecently assaulted. She had a subdural hematoma, bleeding inside her head, and hypothermia. And her brain itself was bleeding. Understand there's a difference between a subdural hematoma and bleeding in the actual brain. Subdural means you're bleeding in the dura, which is that tough outer leathery shell around the brain inside the skull. Or just underneath it, because it's sub. And a brain hemorrhage means the brain itself is bleeding. She was found within hours of her death. So she was still recognizable. She was wearing white hip-length coat, so a short coat. That had what they're describing as a half belt. In other words, the belt didn't close or anything. It just was part of the waistband of the coat. Decoration. with brass buttons and a herringbone pattern. Her socks were in the pockets of the coat. They were white. A pullover short sleeve navy blue t-shirt with an elastic neck and sleeve ends. It says Jamie inside the coat. She was wearing turquoise corduroy pedal pusher pants with a zipper on the back and a button and a right rear pocket. Oh, okay. The outside seam had a leopard print. It's hard to explain, but basically they became popular again in the late 80s. It's a design where they, on the jeans, they take and they almost cut out the middle and then they put in a design. So instead of having a seam down the middle, you have 2 seams with the design in the middle. and it was a leopard print. She was wearing a white bra with a safety pin on the back of the elastic. It was a Habson Creation 100% cotton bra. It said sanforized. I don't know what that means. Sanforized. I don't know what that means. SANFORIZED. Size 36B. You know, I got some opinions that I'm going to give you at the end. No parents ever claimed her, and there doesn't seem to be any strong matches. Her fingerprints are available, but we don't know if her dentals or DNA are available. I would imagine they are. Well, I don't know about DNA. She might have to be exhumed for that, but I would imagine her dentals are available. She was found on the side of Rural Highway Route 715, 1.5 miles west of Hillsborough, by 2 sheriff's deputies at 3:48 in the morning. She had multiple injuries on her back, legs, sides, and face. There was ongoing physical abuse. Now there was no evidence of indecent assault. Okay, before I give you the phone number, I want to give you my opinions, then I'll give you the phone numbers. Okay, in researching the case and in reading the case, I think, for several reasons, that this girl was handicapped. First, her name was imprinted on the back of her shirt. That usually indicates institutionalization. I know that because when my father was in rehab in the nursing home, we had to print his name on his shirts. I still wear one of those t-shirts with his name in it. Because I just want to have a part of it, you know? And it's kind of a red-pink color, and it fits me perfectly, so. And I told my mother I'm keeping it. And she was fine with it. We donated so much of his clothes. And I donated so much of my mother's. So I kept some of hers. I still have some of hers. But yeah, if you're in a nursing home, a group home, anything like that, where laundry's done, I should say where laundry is done communally, they want you to put your name on it. Another thing that made me wonder about that is the fact that her bra was safety pinned. The elastic part. In other words, she was too thin for her bra. For the down here part. The cups probably fit her from what I'm gathering, but they had to pin it in the back. Well, she couldn't have pinned her own bra in the back. I mean, You can't do that yourself. Someone put that bra on her. Someone pinned it. Safety pinned it. Folded the elastic and safety pinned it so it would fit correctly. They need to check all the group homes for the handicapped. If she wasn't handicapped, perhaps she was mentally ill and living in some kind of setting. But that doesn't seem likely to me given her age. I mean, it's possible. But like I said, pinning the bra rather than getting her one that actually fit. Her name being in her clothing. And why were her socks in her pocket? And they're saying she came from a warmer climate than Virginia. Because she was wearing pedal pushers and a t-shirt. With a jacket over it. And her pants closed in the back. They zipped and buttoned in the back, which is a little strange. I mean, I've heard of them zipping in the back. They'll zip like right up your butt seam. That's difficult to do. It can be done, but it's difficult to do. But she also had a button back there. I don't know. She had help getting dressed. That's for sure. Now, could she have been in a foster situation and that's why her clothes were labeled? Possibly. Either way, it's apparent she was being abused. Now, Virginia is pretty darn cold in December. It's actually, even though it's technically south, it's also part of the Northeast because it's like right at the cutoff between the South and the Northeast. Because it borders Maryland, Delaware, DC, which are still considered part of the Northeast. So, region of the country. So, technically it is part of the Northeast. And it has our crazy weather. Even in the most southern portions of it. So, you get to the south, you get past there to North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and across. Although, Georgia gets pretty cold. Does it snow down there? Well, not in Georgia. Hardly ever. But, so yeah. Wearing capris and a t-shirt, even with a jacket, probably not from the area. And like I said, why were her socks in her pocket and what was on her feet? I think she was living in a group setting of some sort. Whether it be a group home, whether it be, a teenage group home of some sort, whether it be, a group home for the handicapped, whether it be a place for the mentally ill, which I kind of doubt. A rehab facility of some sort, somewhere communal, where laundry is done communally. Because at home, unless you have a kid that's nonverbal, at home you're probably, and you want people to know who they are, you're probably not going to label your kids clothes. So, and if she was handicapped, she just might not have dressed appropriately. Because who wears socks with pedal pushers? Unless they're ankle, like, not ankle length, but the ones that are shorter, the footies. Why couldn't I think of that? I wear them all the time. But kind of my preferred sock, footies. They just go right around, just above your heel and right around the lowest part of your ankle. So if you're wearing shoes, you might not see them. You could wear those with pedal pushers, but generally you don't. So that makes me wonder. Lots and lots of wonderments, but let me give you the information. There are three places you can call. The Chief Medical Examiner, Central District for the county, Lara Newell, 804-786-3174. That's 804-786-3174. Or the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office, Mark Bush, 703-777-1021. 703-777-1021. Or mark.bush at loudoun.gov, Loudoun. Or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Elise Thompson, at 1-800-THE-LOST, or 800-843-5678. That's 800-843-5678. She was found laying in a honeysuckle bush, by the way. And they believe she was thrown out of a car. She'd been dead for about 2 hours. And had been Yeah, it is incredibly sad. Because if she was living in a group environment, is it possible that her parents weren't informed right away? And is it possible wherever they made the report, of course it was 1961, the report never got to where it needed to get in order to identify her? That's possible also. So, once again, we have a case with so many questions and so few answers. I do find it very sad, though, as most of them are. But please call those numbers if you have any information. The case number, for the medical examiner's office is C-1961-21646. That's C-1961-21646. The case number for the county sheriff's office is 1961-001216. That's 1961-001216. I just can't imagine. This was December 16th, 1961, just to remind you. I just like I said, I feel terrible for her, and if her family wasn't responsible for beating her, which I don't think they were, I really don't. I think she was in some kind of communal living situation. And they might not have even told her parents. And this case gives me an idea for a theme. You know, I usually do 50s February, but I'm thinking about doing something different. Maybe do a whole month of handicapped cases. Like doing Gordon Page as one of them. I do need to go because I've got 30% power and I do not want to lose my video. God bless you. I will see you Monday. Bye, guys.